Hello, and welcome back to the Single Society. This is the podcast that is all about reframing the conversation about being single, looking at it through the much more positive lens that it really deserves. My name is Jo, and it's great to have you with me today. You may already know that as well as recording these podcast episodes, I also run singles nights for those who are interested in meeting more single people in their local community, or those who are interested in finding a partner at the moment. Now, I hope it goes without saying that I do not think that this is the right option for everybody. There is enormous joy to be found in being single, and if you are happily single, more power to you. That is a very valid choice to make, in my opinion, either for a season of time or indeed if you want to be single for the whole of your life. That is absolutely wonderful and something that should be celebrated. Conversely, there is, of course, nothing wrong with wanting to find a potential partner, somebody to date, someone to marry, someone to have a family with one day. There's a whole spectrum of things that you may be looking for. So I do host singles nights to enable people to meet and connect in safe spaces. And today's episode is going to be focusing on the difference between the singles nights that I run, the speed dating events, and the singles parties, just so that it's really clear what the differences are between them. Now, I have an episode out already, which is about the singles nights themselves, which goes through in a little bit more detail exactly what you can expect from that event. I am going to touch on that in this one as well, please do not worry. But because that one is already out, I'm going to start with the speed dating and the parties, just to make it really clear for you what you can expect. With that in mind, I would really recommend subscribing if you haven't already, because it does just make it a little bit easier to follow along with the different videos, the different releases as they're coming out, so that you've got the full picture of what to expect. You can see future episodes and things like that. So let's dive into it. I'll start with the speed dating events. Now, you might think, oh, I know speed dating. That's a classic, that two people go round, you move on every time. Not quite. We do it quite differently. So the first difference, the big one, is that rather than it being a one-on-one chat, so a man and a woman like conventional speed dating, we run our speed dating events in tables of 4. So 2 men and 2 women. Now, there's quite a few reasons for this. It's not random, I promise. The biggest one is that it means that every little group gets longer to speak because we're doing fewer swaps. So you're speaking with, a couple of potential partners at any one time rather than one, but you do also have double the time. And I think that one of the kind of common critiques of speed dating is that it can feel very intense, like you've barely had time to get through more than, hi, nice to meet you, where do you live, where do you work, before something rings and off you go again. And I think that we have tried to just slow down the pace of that. So by having tables of 2 men and 2 women, you get longer to chat. We have to do fewer swaps. It's just a little bit easier for you to properly get to know people. The other reasons why are that a lot of people have said they quite like having someone of the same gender identity with them. So you can go around with another woman or with another bloke. Now, that does not need to be a friend that you've come with. You are welcome to come to the event with a friend, obviously, as long as they're single, if you would like to. But the vast majority of people come to our events by themselves. So you'll be in very good company if you do. That is very much the norm. We will just pair you up with somebody, with another woman and with another man, and then you can go round and do the event with them. And that really helps put people at their ease. You'd be surprised what a difference it makes. It means you've got the opportunity to kind of make a good friend on the evening as well. It helps in terms of safety, feeling comfortable in the space. So that is another reason that we do it. Gives you a little bit longer, means you can make a friend and feel safe in the space. And then the last one as well is that it just means that you can see how a potential partner essentially interacts in slightly more of a group context. So you're not just seeing them interact one on one with you. You're seeing how they are with another person, like another man or another woman, and then with other people around them as well. And it just gives you slightly more information essentially on whether or not you are a potential match or whether there is chemistry between you. So that is the speed dating. You'll go round, you'll talk to everybody. At each table, so everyone you go to, there will be some conversation cards with 3 questions on them, obviously different on each one. You're very welcome to use those, but also by all means, ask your own questions and have a think beforehand about what you might want to talk about. And at the end of the night, we will try and get everybody stood up just so you can more easily move around the room and chat to anyone that you had a particularly interesting conversation with. So that's speed dating. Not wildly different to what you might expect, but we have tried to make those subtle improvements just to make sure that the event is truly useful for you and it feels like a safe and an inclusive space to be in. There is then also the singles parties that we run. Now they are much less frequent, so we will do one around Christmas, we do one spring, summer, Halloween, all that kind of thing. So they do keep coming round. You'll notice that they are, as I say, less frequent, and that there is less in the event description. They are, I guess, kind of like a nice entry point perhaps for dating. They are certainly quite informal, and essentially they're a room of people who are all single and have come to try and meet somebody. That could be to meet a potential partner or to, get to know lots of amazing local singles in the community nearby. And they are still hosted. You'll still be greeted by an event host, will help you get settled into the space. We will have a games table there, which is optional for people to pick out and play games. But the parties, and this is why they're less frequent, are much lighter touch from us. There's something that were requested from a few people who are perhaps a little bit more extroverted and wanting to just sort of go along, have an open space, feel like they can kind of do whatever it is they want in the space and chat to people, get to know them. So if you are somebody who is fairly outgoing and actually what you want is to go to an event and just know that everyone in the room is single, to kind of like have that initial barrier clear, everyone here is single, then great, that is for you. They are really good fun, but they are definitely the most informal of what I offer. So you've got speed dating, tables of 4, singles parties, all very relaxed, room of singles people, host will still be there to support, and there's games. And then there's the singles night, which I have covered more fully in another episode. But essentially, you've got conversation cards to help you get chatting, quizzes to just, enable you to get to know other people's interests a little bit more, games to play, and then at the end we'll transition into what almost feels like more of a party atmosphere where people can just stand up and do their thing. But the singles nights themselves are much more structured because we'll move everyone round tables to make sure everyone's been introduced. So if you would like more details, I will pop the links in the description box below. The singles nights at the moment are in Manchester, Preston and in York, so you can see what's coming up near you.